me now. And
Drop us a line, let us know for sure, so we don't like re-podcast the whole thing and then find out there's no sound.
yeah, that would suck. Yeah, let us know. But for you guys who can hear us, stop in, take a look. It's in a book, Reading Rainbow. You can check us out on Facebook.
Great, now Facebook's gonna kick you off again.
I know.
Are you allowed to say the word Reading Rainbow, Mr. Pierce?
You're not allowed to use the words Reading Rainbow, so Reading Rainbow. Oh yeah, it's working now.
Okay.
So we're live. It's working. You can also reach out at follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We have a YouTube page. You can watch us live there. Pretty much we're everywhere. Go on to iTunes or Google Play, wherever you guys get your information, and take a listen. We would love to hear from you. Follow us on Twitter. And on Twitter, you can live tweet us and be part of the show. So you can call in at 385-218-6926. It's right on the top of the page. That'd be the best way to probably get a hold of us and be a part of this phenomenal situation. Yeah, so that's what we got going so far today. Really excited to be here, obviously, as we haven't been here for a few weeks, and that's because I keep being an asshole. I think that's what it comes down to.
I mean, that's a good way to simplify it, yeah.
Yeah, so Kim refuses to be on the show which is fair, because I think it doesn't make for good radio if you're just, like, super pissed at me. But I have a knack for podcast days to get you mad.
You do. It's actually kind of impressive.
Like, I'm like, oh, I get to podcast with Kim.
We'll have, like, such a great weekend, and then all of a sudden you turn, like, super douche on Sunday afternoon, and then you're like, let's podcast. Fuck you.
That's my way of making up. I did want to say happy birthday again to my little brother, Billy, who is watching us live on Facebook. If you didn't hear me last time, I hope you had a good birthday. I also enjoyed the pictures of your guinea pig cage that you made out of a dresser. Looks like you're super ingenuitive with that kind of stuff. I could buy a guinea pig cage.
Like a champ.
Like
you could buy it all day long.
Yeah, but I couldn't build one to save my life. Like, if you ever need me to be the guy who builds stuff,
we're in so much trouble.
It's like Walking Dead. I'm totally just going to shaft you. Like, I'm going to ruin you. I'm a Eugene even on building.
Yeah, you're kind of an all-around Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's hop right into it. Well, I really wanted to cover, we talked about this, senator in Idaho.
Okay.
So, he had some students, they were out in Idaho, and they were lobbying for birth control. Basically, what they wanted was, they wanted it so you could get a year's prescription of birth control and some other stuff as part of, like, the health plans. And they had a plan to meet with him, and on the Monday they were going to meet with him, he cancels abruptly, right? And so they leave a condom and a note on his door, which I thought was hilarious.
I didn't hear the part about a condom, but it does kind of make me chuckle.
Yeah, so I thought that was a good addition. And so they went, and they had some other things they were going to do, so they were meeting with this guy. And then they happen to cross paths with him later, so they try to, engage and have a conversation. And this guy, like, loses his mind and yells at him, and he's like, I'm a Roman Catholic and a conservative Republican. I think what you're doing stinks. So first off, he was, like, talking about, like, abortion. He was saying abortion is wrong. They weren't even there to talk about abortion.
They're trying to make sure they don't get knocked up in the first place, which I think is somewhat responsible for college students.
Yeah, and I was actually impressed with how they handled themselves. And this guy just turns douche. But one of the things that really bothered me is, outside of him just generally being a douche, is that he threw his religion, his
personal beliefs,
into his argument of how he was doing his job. Now, I'm not an idiot. Like, I think we both know everyone's got their own personal beliefs, right? Religious, whatever, everything. You got your own opinions. And this guy... But I think when you're in a job like this, when you're a representative...
When you're an elected official,
you said it better than I did. When you're an elected official, it's not... Like, you can't do your job according to your belief system. You're elected. I almost said elected. Almost elected you.
Probably that too. Fairly often.
But yeah, if you're an elected official, you're there to be the voice of the people. So if the majority of the people who you represent want this birth control and other stuff, or hell, even abortion to go that far. Whatever the majority, like what the people want, that is what your job is to push, not whatever you believe is right or wrong.
Yeah.
And I could get how that would be hard.
It would be hard, but if it's hard, if you have a hard time with confrontation and with uncomfortable situations, don't be a representative.
Exactly.
Don't run for office where you can't support your people.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I feel about it. I think that, this guy's just, I don't understand how and then he threatened to kick him out. And I'm not even sure how you do that, because my understanding is that if their offices are considered public property, therefore, like, as citizens, we have all the rights in the world, as long as we're not, like, causing physical damage or, like, threatening to hurt somebody. There's nothing he could do. They have all the rights to literally sit at his office all day long.
Yeah. It's their office, pretty much.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And it's people like this that really make me hate government, or at least I wish I was more active. I want to run for office.
Which scares the bejesus out of me, to be totally honest.
Why?
Because you're so out of control. You're so hard to control on a good day, let alone sticking a microphone in your face and letting you have a louder voice.
I think I'd be awesome. Because the first thing I would do is I'd like pull my criminal record, and I just give you all the dirt on me, so no one's gonna like surprise you with like
your press conferences would be like all about keg stands and like girls you hooked up with in college.
Or it'd be like, it says the candidate, your opponent says that you tried to go to Windover to buy and would buy prostitutes at the whorehouse. Well, yeah, because it's legal there. Like, I'm just going to be completely open because I think that's what the people want.
Did you really do that?
No, but
oh my god!
No, but I think
scared me a little.
I think that's what the people want, and I'm here to give the people. And I think that's what would make me such
honesty
a great.
Is refreshing.
It is, and I think that's kind of how Trump got elected, though, because he had bullshit honesty. Like he said what like the lowest denominator wanted to hear. And that got people interested. And I think that's how he got elected. I'm calling it, he says fake news, I'm calling it fake honesty. Because
I like it.
Just like his whole, like, I would run into the school.
Yeah. Did you see the picture I posted? It was him boarding his plane. It was him boarding Air Force One. And he's got an umbrella. And his kid is behind him. Uncovered.
No.
And it said, you won't take a fucking raindrop for your own child, but you're gonna take bullets for someone else's.
Yeah. Are you the one that sent me the picture of him in his office with like the quote of like, oh, I would have ran in there even without a gun?
I posted it, yeah.
And there was like an eagle or something that was scaring the shit
out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, an eagle was in the Oval Office and it flapped its wings and he got scared.
But honestly, I think I told you I was a little torn on that one because I almost, and this is going to sound douchey, but I actually just really felt like I agreed with him saying the cop was kind of a coward. The 4 cops, I should say.
I have kind of avoided that whole thing. I'm kind of emotionally drained as it is right now, and so I haven't really paid a lot of attention to that. I can't imagine what it is like to be a cop these days, period. With, people shooting at you, all these school shootings. Like, I can't begin to judge anybody for how they handled that situation because I don't know how I would handle it, so.
No, I get that. I don't know how I would handle either because I'm definitely a Eugene, so, which is probably why I would never be an officer because my other officers would be in some serious trouble if shit ever got real.
So you have to clarify when you're talking about being a Eugene. It's from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, well, I just assume at this point that everybody watches the entire world.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that's the only Eugene. So my husband is basically kind of a big selfish coward. It's kind of...
Is that with, like, love?
Well, yeah, of course. With all the love in the world.
Is there a hug coming?
But, like, you've pretty much told me that you would... It wasn't you that said that you'd eat me. Trevor said he would eat me. But you said you would trip me so that the zombies would get to me first.
If I didn't have another option.
I feel like that would be your first option. I feel like you'd be like, I don't know what else to do, so all I can do is sacrifice my wife.
No, like, I would do whatever I could for us to get out together. But, like, if it ever turned to where, like, it had to be you or me, no matter what, like, no matter what was going to happen, one of us had to go, then my self-preservation kicks in.
I'm just saying, I'm a Rick Grimes.
You are.
I'm a Rick or a Daryl. I'm not sure which.
I don't think you're a Daryl.
I think I'm a Rick. Because I want to try to save everybody.
And you also are very run by your emotions.
That's true. That's true.
And Rick is a very emotional guy.
It's very true. But you are definitely a Eugene.
Oh, yeah.
You are completely powered by your fear.
Powered by my fear. Like, I feel like this is some heavy hitting.
You owe me $120 for this hour, by the way.
I know, right? I just found out that I'm powered by my fear. I'm going to bring that up in therapy on Tuesday. So, Jessica, my wife says...
You really are. You really will, I can tell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's coming up. Therapy is like my new favorite thing.
I hope I never meet Jessica, because
Why?
I can't even imagine her view of me after all these things you go in and tell her about your horrible, horrible wife.
And that's... I actually preference everything. Like this week, my horrible, horrible wife did X, Y, Z.
I know.
And that's how I follow it up every single time.
I like it. I like your consistency.
Horrible. You're phenomenal. You come on here with me every once in a while and make this, like, this is one of my favorite hours of the week. Like, I love doing this with you. So for me, this is like a date night right now.
Yeah.
It's super romantic. I might light some candles.
You might need to get out more if this is romantic to you.
I know. I wish I would have went outside today. You said it was pretty nice out today.
A lot of people had their bikes out. I thought for sure you'd get your bike charged and take it for a spin.
I need to go charge. Well, I don't want to take it for a spin because currently it doesn't have legal plates. So I need to go do that probably tomorrow. But, yeah.
Do they take sexual favors?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I think I could give a mean Hummer.
I bet you could.
And I have the mustache to tickle it.
Win-win.
Bonus. Whore of the month right here. So we watched Coco yesterday.
Today.
Was it today?
No, it was yesterday. Okay.
Because it was before Trevor went to his sleepover.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to see that movie, but I'm glad we did because it actually ended up being a fun little movie to watch. But these movies we're watching lately, I don't know if it's the therapy or if I'm just more broken than I was a few years ago. But I cried again.
Yeah. I didn't even cry.
Yeah.
I cry a lot. Like, I cry at, like, commercials and shit. And, like...
I think it's because it wasn't an animal movie.
Well, there was an animal. So, if you haven't seen Coco, you need to watch it, first of all. They have these, like, spirit animals. And Trevor, the one that Trevor was, like, totally drawn to was this, like, big, beautiful, strong, like, lion type thing with wings. And then Matt was, like, the really retarded dog. And then mine was this, like, my spirit animal was this completely unidentifiable, like, frog/bunny. Like, God knows what this creature's supposed to be. And that's the one that I related to the most. It was pretty funny.
And he was only in like a 30-second scene. Like, he literally just flopped down and fell into the water out of nowhere.
And made some weird noises. But you and I both knew that was mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there was no question that was your animal. But I don't know why I'm crying all of a sudden. Like, we went to see Wonder.
It's not bad. Like, it's okay to have emotions every once in a while.
Yeah, but should you know where those emotions are coming from?
Wonder made sense to me. Wonder kind of, like, really struck your chord about, like, being bullied and, you know, always being put down and stuff. So that makes sense. But Coco, I couldn't really pinpoint.
I don't know. Like, either of them, like, I never know why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I could not, like, it's uncontrollable. Like, I try to fight it, and it is completely uncontrollable. And, yeah.
It's endearing. It's endearing.
It feels like I'm an idiot.
No, it's cute.
But moving on, so I did see this thing. This is like, we talk all the time about our parenting differences.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was going through Facebook, and one of the more reputable things that I follow had this kid, this dad, filming this kid. He's in his truck, filming his kid running down the road. And his son had been bullying people. And the school finally said, screw this. you're booted off the bus for 3 days.
Yeah.
So this dad, being, to me, a phenomenal parent, said, all right, if you're going to be an asshole, and what we all know bullying has led to a lot of these shootings, right? Go all the way back to Columbine. I'm not going to have that. Like, you're not going to be triggering that, or you're not going to be affecting people's lives.
I'm not going to reward you for being a dick and getting in trouble. Yeah, no.
So he made him run to school every day. And I thought it was parenting genius. And I was wondering how you thought of it.
So I know you don't like when I say this, but I actually agree with you.
Well, it's just, I don't hear it often.
It's all right. You're sitting down. You should be okay. No, I completely agree. So I saw the same thing, and I saw a lot of comments like how inappropriate, like that's abusive, that's cruel and unusual. It's a fucking mile. Like, my kid walks to school farther than that. And yeah, most days I give him a ride if I'm here. But like, our buses you don't even get on the bus if you're within like a mile and a half or almost 2 miles in this area. So I don't see what the big deal is of making him walk and making him deal with his, he thought it was cool to be a bully. And, yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. I think that was an awesome move by the dad. It's like that lady who her son was out rioting and she went out and beat the shit out of him and brought him home. Like, yeah, take care of your kids. I love it.
Yeah, I wish
discipline them.
I wish more people do that same thing.
Our son just poked his head in right as I said, take care of your kids, discipline them, and he slowly shut the door.
And we have actually utilized this method. Like, we've made Trevor walk to school when he's kind of been a douche.
Oh, yeah. If he disrespects me and he's 14, he gets very disrespectful and very just mean, just horrible and mean, and he'll run his mouth and say some horrible things to me, and then the next morning he expects to ride to school. So, every once in a while I'll tell him to set his alarm a little early because he's got to walk.
I thought it was funny that some people on Facebook were bitching and moaning. Do want to say just shout out to Gary Black, who has joined us here on Facebook Live, and also Jose. I hope you're doing good, buddy. But I do want to say, like, I think it was funny that there was actually parents saying, "A, you're embarrassing the kid," which I thought was nuts because you never see literally, you can barely even see the actual kid. It's kind of fuzzy.
Not only that, but isn't that what the kid was doing in the first place? He was embarrassing somebody else.
Yeah.
To get a good laugh. So why is that unfair?
I don't think it is, but these people are all pissed off, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is, it's raining. That's bad parenting." So many people.
It's water. Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's what's wrong with America right now, is that people think that that's a problem to make your kid walk to school as a punishment for something that he did, that he screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back to my pussification of America, and it just adds to it. Like, simple things like, I think this guy should...
Embarrass them all.
This guy...
Gary says embarrass them all.
A little embarrassment never hurt kids, right? I think this guy did good. He didn't... I don't think it would have been bad if the kid's face would have been on it, but I think it was... He handled it perfectly. He's following the kid, and he's following him, so it's not even like, oh, you have to walk... by yourself.
He's not like walking through the ghetto and yeah. He's like walking down this sidewalk in the suburbs. It just happens to be sprinkling. Yeah.
And he also does a nice job giving him like a little like you're doing a good job by saying what a good job he was keeping up a 6 mile per hour speed. So I mean, he did everything right. He scolded him properly. He's held some consequences, and then he built him up by saying, "Good job, son. Your speed is awesome." Like, this guy, to me, like, if there's a Parents of the Year award...
Wait, we don't get it this year?
Next year.
Okay.
Next year. I feel like we started a little weak this year.
Yeah.
But we're finishing strong.
Are we? I feel like we're failing miserably, but,
We've had better days, but
if we can finish 2018 with either of our kids liking us, I feel like we're winning.
Well, I can guarantee you that my daughter will just hate me forever, so I don't see that. Trevor, we have hope for.
A little bit.
Sorry, I just got caught. The word punishment is a 4-letter word. It is to a lot of people. Like, yeah, see, good for... Gary knows what's up. Good for the dad. Gary's no dummy. I think...
Gary's got good kids.
Yeah, like...
Your kids are very respectful.
So Gary one time came over to help me felt my poker table.
Yeah.
Like when we cut out... Well, he helped me cut out the dealer's seat.
Yeah, I know.
And
turns out I lived with you at the time.
we lived together. Oh man, this is gonna be real awkward. But he, when he did that, he brought his kids, right? And his son, little Troy, is awesome. He came. He was super young at the time. Comes over and they want to play, but before they play, they're cleaning up our playroom. If you remember that playroom when we actually had toys in there, it was just
bad.
a shit show.
Yeah.
And they're in there cleaning our playroom, and I don't even know what to do. I'm just, what the fuck's going on? But I'm not going to stop them because it needed cleaning.
And our kid wasn't doing it.
Yeah. But, yeah, Gary said, thank you, I beat them.
Well, good job. Whatever you and Bonnie are doing, it's working.
Yeah, Gary, it's absolutely working. As your kids cleaned our playroom for us before they played. We can't even get our kid to clean his room.
No.
We offer him money and he still says no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Is that like...
He needs to clean up poop this week.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad. Because it's been winter. He's not going to like that. It's going to be a big fight.
Yes.
Stay tuned for some family drama.
I always wonder, like, depending on what I have to... Like, I think at some point we do have to have the conversation about screen time. And that's going to be like World War III.
It is. So our son is like addicted to this Fortnite game, which I don't mind the game so much. Yeah, it's a first-person shooter, which is not my favorite. But there's no blood. When you die, you just kind of disappear into this little like computer guy. But he's like obsessed with it. And Matt fixed up his headphones, so now he's like talking to random grown men all day. It really creeps me out. Yeah. Like his little buddy Vic. He's like, well, Vic only has Mondays and Fridays off of work. Well, first of all, Vic's old enough to be working. You shouldn't be talking him. Are you seriously playing this right now, Gary? Gary says he's playing Fortnite right now.
On the computer and you haven't friended me yet? Man, nobody wants to play Fortnite with
Matt's
me.
really bad.
Yeah.
He's a Eugene in Fortnite, too. He hides. He'll like get a gun and then he'll hide in some shack out in the middle of the woods.
But I always finish like top 5.
Not always.
A lot of the time I do. Well, I'm just pissed off Gary hasn't friended me yet. So we're definitely going to get up. Hey, Chris Erickson, thanks for joining in, buddy. Anyways, yeah, so I think that, what do you guys think? Do you think that giving your kids like an hour and a half every day of screen time is too much? Or too little? Or is it wrong to do? Because it's something like I'm passionate about. And even like, it's one of the things that's definitely come up in my therapy. It's come up even in Trevor's therapy. That everyone seems to think he needs, or kids in general, need like just a limit. Like,
it's hard because that's what all the kids do these days. Like, that's what's cool. And, you know, when we were young, it was cool to play outside. It was cool to go play baseball, basketball, whatever. But now, like, that's what's cool. So that's all they want to do ever. But then they become more depressed and more separated. Like, Trevor, he had a sleepover last night, and thank God his laptop is broken because they would have a sleepover and sit next to each other and play the computer. Like, play with each other online in the same room. It's just, they've completely lost, like, their ability to connect with people. That's one of the reasons that I would love to move to somewhere like Ohio, where we have, like, a big backyard and we can go outside and have, you know, fires and, like, Sean Pack, his kids riding their dirt bikes in the backyard.
Yeah.
I would love that.
And the thing is, like, I totally get it's hard, but I think this is kind of where, in this generation, it's our job as parents to put him in a good place and to handle those things. I think Gary's giving Chris a little shit about being afraid of cows. Chris, are you really afraid of cows? I think that's the question I gotta ask.
Which Chris?
Chris is watching on Facebook, Chris Erickson.
Oh, okay.
And I think he may be afraid of cows. Is that what you're saying, Gary? Because I gotta know now. Are you afraid of cows?
I have a huge backyard. Are you trying to compensate for something, Gary?
Don't change the subject. I gotta know if Chris is afraid of cows. Like this, this is something I'm really into right now.
I'm not changing the subject. I'm not the one talking about the size of my backyard.
Chris is afraid. How are you afraid of cows? Aren't you like a little farmer boy? I thought Chris is like, he lives out in the Grantsville area, and he's like a farm guy.
You think can still be afraid of cows?
Pulling cow tits all day long without worrying about it. And now I find out, is that like being like...
Maybe he gets to pull the human variety, so he doesn't need to resort to cows, like most people in Grantsville.
That could be the case. I don't know.
In which case, well done, Chris.
Well done, Chris. Chris is saying that cows are evil. Yeah.
I don't know that they're evil, but they're also not like my favorite, you know. I'm not like going to walk up and like start petting a cow.
Now I want to like just take Chris and put him in the middle of a cow field and just watch him react. And cows are not evil. They're delicious. Right? If you hit them, they're delicious.
If you hit them, that's terrible.
Right? Because or kill them, pound their head in with a batter.
That's terrible.
That's what
Stop.
they do. They go to the cow factory.
They use they don't like club them to death. They use that really quick like.
Oh, the gun thing.
That like it's like instant.
Yeah.
I've seen it on Walking Dead.
Okay, so they use that, but so they taste delicious. Got all kinds of awesome meat in them. So yeah. All right, so let's move on. It's funny. Speaking of farmers, some farmers are feeding their pigs waste products from the marijuana industry, honey. The plant stems and leaves and roots.
Genius.
I think it's great. They say that like it makes them more savory, and they also obviously, because I hear that weed makes you hungry, so it builds up your appetite. And so these pigs weigh like 30 pounds more than the average pig.
Because they're like putting munchies to good use.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they're happier when they die.
Wouldn't it be awesome? Imagine a world where you got a marijuana type high from eating bacon. Nobody's going to ever outlaw bacon. It's bacon.
Yeah, no one's outlawing bacon.
You're like having a breakfast sandwich from McDonald's and you're like getting buzzed.
You literally just stopped me in my tracks. Like
I just started thinking about the pigs eating the marijuana. I think it's a great idea.
I don't know what being high is like, but I just think about like eating bacon, being high, and not having to smoke that bad stuff.
Smoke that bad stuff.
And think about it, like they said, like if an animal's happier when they kill it, it's actually the meat's better because of the enzymes. Have you ever seen I know a lot of people who smoke weed. I never see them upset on weed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that it's possible, I'm sure. Do not play with Gary says, do not play with my emotions like that. Sorry, Gary. I think it would be awesome.
Do you think that's an acceptable way to, like, pot bacon? He just called it pot bacon. Do you think that's an acceptable way to fail a drug test at work? Like, because I know, like, poppy seed, I'm
saying bacon's going to, like, bridge the gap between marijuana and legalization because nobody's going to outlaw bacon. So if you can figure out a way to get high off bacon, everybody's going to be like, oh, hey, maybe this is not so bad.
People in our society have found a trillion different ways to do things with bacon. They fry it, they put it in ice cream. Like
they've also found a trillion different ways to get high. So it's
like two worlds colliding.
Exactly. I can't believe it hasn't merged yet. Like they can make canna butter. You can make butter out like infused butter with pot. So why can't you do it with bacon? I feel like if we didn't live where we live, we would have to experiment.
That would be like the ultimate.
Gary,
edible.
we're coming to visit.
That's not legal there either.
No, well, that sucks.
But Ohio is trying to make it legal, so hopefully they pull that off. That's just more reasons to move home, in my opinion.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. I don't know what farmer thought of this plan, but again, he is my hero. And I think we actually talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, but Eric, because Eric doesn't like. Oh, by the way, I put a Twitter poll out that if Eric was public enemy number 1 on the Pierce of Mind podcast, and it was a resounding yes.
I was going to say that might be worth me signing up for Twitter.
Yeah.
Just so I could go vote.
Well, I told him that you thought he was a douchebag.
Yeah, I do. But I feel like he's so proud of himself for being a douchebag.
Yeah,
he's a teenager, so I'll let it slide to some extent, but he can be a teenager elsewhere. He can be back on your podcast and he's like 21 or 22.
Here's what drives me nuts is if I've been on his podcast, I listen to his podcast, and it's like he takes his Ritalin before his podcast. And he actually controls himself, and he's actually like under control and calmer, and actually can have and doesn't always want to run the whole conversation. But I feel like when he comes on our show, he just ignores everything.
He just treats everybody like they're so stupid.
Yeah.
He's very degrading, which is ironic to me. Well, he's kind of a douche.
I think what he hasn't learned yet, and I think his youth is part of it, is that he hasn't figured out that
it's okay for other people to have an opinion too.
Yeah, you could disagree, and I think you actually credited me on this the other day. Is like, I feel like I can have a conversation with just about anybody, and even if we like completely disagree, I can see their viewpoint or at least respect it enough. It doesn't. I've had what would be considered like heated debates with people, and we leave on really good terms. Is that I will own him? What the hell are you typing, Gary? You threw me off and everything. But yeah, I think a lot of it is just his age. I think as he gets older, he will like learn that other people's opinions aren't necessarily terrible.
Yeah.
And it's okay to just like, what do we do all the time? We agree to disagree.
Yeah. But I think like hopefully he'll kind of grow out of this and he'll eventually learn that like his opinion's not the only one. He's just douchey. I don't know. I gotta give him credit. He's a smart kid and he's passionate, but he's so smug that it just makes you not like him at all.
Smug is a great word actually. That's perfect because
he doesn't realize I will own him.
No, I know he does like messing with Gary. He did call to apologize, Gary, which I thought was more than I thought he'd ever do.
See, but again, all he's doing is bringing your show back to him.
Yeah.
He's like, I feel like I need to apologize to Gary. No, you fucking don't. It's not your show. Apologize to Gary on your show, and if Gary likes you enough, he'll listen to your show and be like, oh, cool. But don't keep calling, like, this is not the Eric show. Drives me nuts.
This is not.
Clearly.
It's not I feel like you're upset a little bit. I like when you get all worked up.
This is my baby's show, honey.
It is. And now Gary's on it on Fridays, and so it's actually been kind of nice with Gary and Kevin. I feel like if you guys haven't listened to, it's definitely a sports heavy show, because I think Kevin's afraid or whatever
to talk about anything but sports.
Talking about anything but sports, as I give him shit when he's not here to defend himself.
Gary, I tried handing off the Sunday show to you, and Matt said no.
This is our date day.
Well, maybe part of the problem is that you think this is a date.
Well, okay, maybe date's a bad word. I just really like this this hour we spend together on Sundays.
I know, but think about how close you and Gary could get if you did this.
Me and Gary are so close. I mean, we're like almost reach around close. Like it's.
Oh God, there you go, crossing that line again.
Yeah, I don't know where that line is. It just.
He says I'm good.
But no, like I really look forward to having you on and having you do this with me once a week, and it's a good way for us to talk about some stuff. Especially like these fools in South Carolina. I do want to get into the South Carolina thing because the saggy pants.
I'm just glad to hear that our lawmakers are working on something so important.
Yeah, like you got people shooting people in schools, 800 other different things going on. We can't balance a budget. We can't get anything accomplished in Congress, but you know what? Let's stop these assholes from wearing their pants halfway down their ass. And let's be honest, I don't care how you think this sounds to me, but this is absolutely like it's against black people. Like, it's a race thing. Because I'm from Ohio.
Not necessarily.
Okay, I'm going to say I'm from Akron, and there are those people who are into that culture and they do the same thing, but 90% of this is black African American.
Okay, so maybe in South Carolina, but like I'm from Utah where we don't really have a lot of black people. And I've seen this my whole life. Like like janky skinny white guys with their pants down around their knees. So for me, I don't think it's a racist thing, but I'm also from Utah where
Gary agrees with me.
It's regional.
But no, like I think that.
But again, you guys live in the south of the north, so.
I like that, the south.
It's a little different where you're from.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think, like you said, it's such a waste of time. I don't like it. I don't like that they wear their pants like this. I don't like that they, this stupid stuff. But I can't stand that. they don't have anything better to do when it comes to getting laws passed. And they're like, just like, do you see where they're trying to make a law about the shape of these Tide Pods to make them look less appetizing for kids?
Are you serious right now? Oh my God. I did not hear that.
Yeah. There was like there was probably like 8 or 9, I think, senators on a stage going, it looks like candy, kids are going to eat it. It is our job, our duty to force these companies not to make these things look so enticing to children.
Okay, so on that same note, and I'm sorry I'm getting squirreled a little bit, have you seen all those posts that are like, this is ecstasy, people are giving these to your kids because they look like candy? Nobody is giving away damn ecstasy. That shit is expensive.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be like, oh, this is shaped like a teddy bear, here, I'm going to feed it to a kid. No. Maybe it's shaped like a teddy bear, but nobody's giving it to your goddamn children on the playground.
Yeah, the teddy bears aren't even that good. The lions jumping to the left.
I've never done that, so I don't know.
Here's the thing. It has been years and years and years since I've done ecstasy.
I can't believe you just admitted to doing it at all.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I care. I'm 38 years old. I'll do what the fuck I want. But,
until the police show up.
But when I did it, I fell in love with ecstasy. A, because it's out of your system. This is when I was at ATI, like early on in my ATI career.
Aren't you, like, considering ever going back to ATI, maybe? Like, North Carolina? Maybe you should not be talking about that?
I mean, we're in it now. I feel like
damage is done. All right.
Damage is done. But, no, so this is early on. It's out of your system in 3 days. If you drink water, it can be like 2. So, I remember how you used to have the long changes where I'd have a week off?
Oh, yeah.
So, me and Laura figured it out. So, every long change was ecstasy change.
Oh my God.
So on that weekend, just that weekend,
our son's not listening, right?
I hope not. We'd only do he's not. I'm watching.
Okay.
On that weekend, like when my week off first started,
shit just got real, right, Gary? I hate this conversation.
I know,
oh my gosh.
But we're in it, so like no, we all know what happened now. So, but yeah, so we would do this, and here's what I loved about it. It was the best conversations I've ever had in my entire life. Like, shit got so deep. Like, you would start off, be like, we'd be out late in the backyard, be like, just something like,
looking at the stars.
Yeah, I'll look at those stars. Next thing you know, I'm fucking Nostradamus, talking about all kinds of random shit that I have no clue, at this point I can't recall. But I remember those being deep, deep, deep conversations. And then just like, anytime anyone touches you, it is the most intense feeling ever.
Maybe that ruined you. Maybe that ruined you sexually.
No, I'm a superstar.
Okay,
right?
okay,
just
yep.
Just not tell me, yeah.
You betcha.
No, but you know what? It did have a negative sexual side effect. You cannot have an orgasm.
I've heard that. Right? I've heard that from a lot of people, actually. Yeah.
You can kind of feel like you're getting there.
You feel like you're about to explode for like hours,
and then your dick's just like, fuck you.
Oh my God, Matt! I can't stand this conversation right now.
Lies. Gary says lies. No, it is amazing. I highly recommend lies that you can't finish.
No, probably lies that you're like. What did you say? You're a sexual champ or something.
Oh, I would say that I'm like.
You're pretty good for a fat guy.
I'm not sexual Jordan. I'm more like sexual Charles Barkley. Like I'm still a Hall of Famer.
You're like a tier 2.
But I'm like a tier 2 Hall of Famer. Okay. I think that's a fair acknowledgement. But how did we even get on that conversation?
I don't even know. You started talking about... because we started talking about ecstasy shaped like teddy bears.
Oh, yeah. And...
that was my tangent that just went way wrong.
Yeah. See, you started that. It was a fail for you. I feel like
I did not even go there.
You took us down this rabbit hole. And I have to...
You were talking about something... Oh, the Tide Pods appealing to kids.
Yeah, that's another dumb thing. Like, who can, like, is that where we're going to go every time a kid does something stupid? We're going to be like, oh, bleach bottles, we got to make those look less appetizing to children.
Yeah, like
come on.
Yeah, do you think the kid who started the whole Tide Pod thing was like, oh, this looks delicious? No, they were like, hey, I bet this will fuck you up. It's another thing. Kids just keep trying to get high. I'm pretty sure I busted one of Trevor's friends the other day.
Yeah,
getting high. So I see him as like this super like heavy, nerdy looking kid. And I said to my son, like, hey, isn't that so-and-so, your friend? And right as I said that and drew Trevor's attention to him, I realized he's carrying a bunch of cans of whipped cream. Which I didn't even know this was a thing. But apparently you can get high off of the nitrous or whatever that propels it. So I didn't even know about this until like a month ago. And I like draw Trevor's attention to this kid, and he goes up and stands right behind him. And the kid turns around and goes, oh, my mom. My mom asked me to get whipped cream for her. She's out in the car. And he was like so uncomfortable. And Trevor's like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm like, motherfucker is snorting some whipped cream. He's a druggie and he is my kid's friend. But, you know, I guess it could be worse. But it was kind of scandalous for me.
Here's the thing about Whippets. This was like a high school thing for me.
Whippets? I never even knew about this.
Everybody knows what's up about Whippets.
I never even knew this was a thing until like a month ago.
But from what I recall, it's like an amazing high. Like phenomenal high. But it literally lasts 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And then I saw an intervention where she was huffing the air can, the spray air. And her, like, she'd lose feeling in her lip and her tongue because it freezes it.
Yeah. Do you want to hear the worst thing I ever did when it comes to drugs?
Oh, no. No, please, no. Okay. Please not on your podcast.
All right, I'll tell you later.
Thanks.
It's a funny story. I'll tell you that it ends with me peeing in the street.
Oh, like, my God.
Walking down the street, just peeing. And it was a phenomenal time. They choke your brain. Maybe that's why I can't, like, figure out all this. I'm, like, have a missing thing in my coding knowledge.
From snorting Whippets?
That Whippets just won't let those two things connect. I figured it out. Huh. We are, I don't even know how we got here, but this is actually a fun conversation.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry, like,
I'm just nervous talking about this stuff, because you know how my family is. Like, my family doesn't think this stuff is funny, or...
Well, they're not watching. And
that doesn't mean they can't ever.
That's true. But the thing is, it's stuff I've done. Like, I love your family, and I try to, like, fit in. But I also know, like, comparatively, I was a hellion who did have a lot more experiences.
I mean, like, we've experienced that in our family. Like, we're not perfect by any means.
Oh, no, sure. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's terrible. I think it's good to just put stuff out there because then you get it out there and there's conversations and it makes it easier to talk to your children about as like such a taboo thing. But
my brother Dan knows more of the shit that I've done than anybody in my family, but we have a pretty strict, like, we know enough about each other that I'm not worried about him saying anything because I've got plenty of things I could share as well. It's a mutually beneficial way to vent, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny because you guys share a birthday, so maybe that's like
our little Capricorn
like
thing.
Weird twins.
We're like twins separated by 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we used to get along. Not as much anymore, but we used to.
Well, he's all the way out in Brooklyn. He's made it to the big fancy life.
And he's got a wife who doesn't like me very much, so.
In all fairness, she doesn't like anybody.
That's probably true, but she really doesn't like me, which is sad because I miss my brother, but I'm happy he's happy.
I'm happy.
That's good.
Are you happy? You're happy?
Yep.
I love your face. I don't know why. Oh, Gary, I don't think we talked about this. I want Gary's opinion. I'm just saying yours. Okay, so I know I'm getting turned into a tree when I die. Right?
Okay.
But I always wonder, because I feel that if I die first, you're going to have a funeral, right?
Well, I feel like you'd want more like a party.
Sure.
But even though you're not really a drinker, yeah.
And so I always am afraid because I am such a douche. And I am an acquired taste. Like Gary will tell you. It takes a minute to... I'm terrible at first impressions. So if you just go only by your first impression of me...
You would not have any friends.
I would have 0 friends. But people like Gary have held out and saw through the evilness that I actually have some redeemable qualities. But I always wonder how many people are coming to Matt's funeral.
You'd have people.
I don't think my mom's coming.
Why? Is she like you? You're not going to hers because you can't handle it emotionally?
I'm not going to my mom's funeral. I don't think that's a terrible thing.
I think it's a horrid thing, actually. I will go to your mom's funeral. Trevor and I will go. We love your mom.
Me not going to my mom's funeral doesn't mean I don't love her.
Okay.
Well, that you seem like you're like holding back on me here.
Gary says, burn me. Dump me on a football field. Better celebrate my life, bitches.
But I always... Go ahead.
I picture your funeral because you love ham and funeral potatoes. So I picture, like, we have a pretty standard, like, Mormon funeral for you. And then we go back to the... Maybe not to the Ward House, because I feel like we're still going to have, like, the Relief Society funeral potatoes and ham. But we're also going to have, like, a 151 fountain.
Oh, God, that would be great.
And everybody can just get, like, shit-faced drunk and tell stories about you.
Gary says I'm a good dude, but you have to be able to handle blind aggression.
Well said.
Well said, Gary. Well said. I don't think anyone's coming. Like, I say at tops 10 people.
Nick and Matt. Gary might, like, you know, send an email because he's far away.
Nick and Matt are only coming if I go
Would
to
Nikki
Tooele,
come?
If I get buried in Tooele.
Would Nikki come?
Nikki's there for sure.
And if so, is she bringing Kyle?
Yeah. Kyle's coming. And
if you're dead, am I allowed to sleep with them?
You can sleep with Kyle awake. Like, I've seen his package. That guy's loaded. So I would not be mad at you. I would definitely never be able to take care of you again.
Well, you're dead, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay, so Nikki and Kyle are here.
Nikki and Kyle.
Gary might be there. We'll
Gary's
see.
not
Probably not.
out. He's a busy man.
Butler will be here.
Gary will send flowers.
Raina.
Butler and Raina.
My family will go.
Oh, yeah, your family. That's it. So that's the only way I break 10 is if your family goes. Because like there's 10 in like one family, so that's
well, there are like 25 of us just in my immediate family, so yeah.
But like,
so you're gonna break like 30, honey.
My mom's not coming because she doesn't like to fly, and you're gonna want to bury me every time she actually drives the hell out here. So
you must have Pop-Tarts. Fat people porn. Oh, I'm there. What the hell?
Oh, shit just got real on the Facebook feed. Yeah, so... Anyways.
Wait. So you want to be a tree now, but your old plan was to be cremated because you wanted to see if you smelled like bacon.
Well, no, but then I decided I wanted to be a tree because we seen those pots that...
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, so that's what I want to do now. I want to be a tree.
Might as well be a tree and, like, help the atmosphere and shit. Like, be useful after you die.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So I want to be a tree, but I'm always wondering, like, when I have my service, who's going to show up to this party? Which, by the way, if you die second, so you have to plan this shit, there better be a party. Like, not like a boo-hoo-hoo, Matt's gone.
I picture a big old, like, getting drunk and sitting around and, like, telling stories about you.
Gary just said he's humping that tree. That's how close we are. Gary's going to come hump my tree.
At one point, he did say, if I look in your eyes, that he's there.
Yeah.
So that was really sweet.
But, we're having a little trouble on the Twitter feed.
Uh-oh.
But, that's fine. We're learning. We're growing. No, but the Chinese people got this shit figured out.
Do you want funeral strippers?
I think that would guarantee more people showing up. Like, these guys are hired... And I don't understand why the Chinese government's so against it, because they're trying to, like, shut it down.
Well, probably because it's trashy. But, like, the idea is that the more people who, like, send you off, the more prosperous your afterlife.
Yeah.
Which, to me, I feel like I shouldn't have to work for anything once I die.
Oh, yeah, no. Once you die, you shouldn't care, but I do. And I want, like, at least 10 strippers. Like, I think this is genius, because I think that I'll do whatever it takes to get people at my party. And what better way is to bring some strippers doing something. I guess from what I read this article, like, they're doing some hardcore showmanship at these things. I think it's a genius idea. I know the government's trying to shut it down because, people think it's rude. But also in their culture, like, the more people that come to your funeral,
the more honor is shown to your family. Yeah.
So
can we have male strippers too?
I imagine, right?
I mean, I'm asking for your funeral specifically.
No. Well, here's the thing. Yes.
All right.
Because this isn't about me. Like,
it's
hopefully
about
I've seen
luring people in
before I die.
I think you've probably seen enough already.
That this whole
How many boobs are in Ohio?
Oh yeah, because you think I've seen them all. This whole thing is for the people to get people in. So I think you have to have some Chippendale type strippers.
Open bar.
Open bar. Or can we afford that? I think maybe a cash bar is better because then you could take that money and like start your new life with it.
Well, I don't have to like bury you if I'm making you a tree. Can't I just plant you in the backyard or something?
No, because I think you have to give me one of those special pots. That's how you do it. You have to have the.
Well,
special
yeah, I can
pot.
get you like the urn, like the. Yeah, no, I'm good. I can do that. I just.
Don't bury me in the backyard though.
Where am I supposed to plant you?
Here's my suggestions.
50-yard line.
No, because that will affect the game.
I didn't think you'd care.
Outside Brown Stadium would be cool. Be like a cool tree, like right by maybe like the team shop.
We can go.
Whoa!
No, stop.
What was that? Was
it
that
was
you?
a game on my phone. I'm sorry.
Shut your mouth.
It's a game. I know it's creepy. Yes, it's really creepy.
I
know.
thought your
It
dad
sounds
was
like a
talking
ghost.
to me through my headphones.
I know, it sounds like a ghost. So here's my idea. Ready?
Oh, you get fully fucked.
I have an idea of where we're going to become trees.
All right, do it.
You are going to be in between the lake and the stadium, facing the stadium. And I'm going to be back to back with you, touching, facing the lake. Because I like nature and you like sports.
That'd be awesome.
And we'll be together forever.
Watching every Browns game.
God, this sounds so overwhelming right now. Together forever. Fuck.
I know.
Just kidding.
I think we've already made it past like the time frame people thought was life. Like I feel like we've already.
Yeah.
Because I think I took 3 months in the poll.
I think you were aiming for. No, you were only aiming for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks. I feel like we
made
could
it 2
get past
weeks.
the first 2 weeks.
I feel like if we've made it through the last 2 years, we can do just about anything.
Oh yeah.
We've had a rough couple of years.
And yet we continue to strive to be great.
Yep, something like that.
But yeah, I think this is cool. I would bring strippers to my funeral and party. Like, it would just be a huge party. Like, that's just all there is to it.
Now, if you die this week, there's going to be all this pressure for me to get strippers and a 151 fountain and funeral potatoes. I'm busy now.
Can I write a letter of like the ethnicity of the strippers that I want?
I mean, it's your funeral.
But will you like actually follow it? Or
I'm pretty sure I could guess what you would want, but go for it. You can write it out.
I know, but you're gonna be heartbroken, so you might not be thinking straight.
As long as I can get a male stripper, I'm fine.
Will you cry when I die?
Yes, I will. I'll be heartbroken.
For how long? Like a day? How long before you go on your first date?
Okay, that's nowhere near as quick as you think. Keep in mind that, like, after I had Trevor, I didn't even date for, like, 9 years. And then I dated, got engaged, that broke off, and then I dated you, and you were a rebound, and I fucking married you.
I know.
So, like, I'm not very good at dating.
I'm the greatest rebound ever.
You are. You are definitely the rebound that would not go away. Those are going to be some gnarly looking trees. Ouch, Gary. Fuck right? You.
So how long? See, now I feel bad because I was just thinking about how long I would wait before you.
You already told me you're bringing a date to my funeral.
Okay, I've rethought this. I feel like that might be harsh.
I feel like that would be super, like, trashy, but it's kind of right up your alley. I don't think you'd, like, fall in love with her, but I think you would totally work the, like, vulnerable, heartbroken widower just to get in somebody's pants.
I'm only laughing.
Maybe you'll pick up a date at my funeral.
I'm only laughing because you're probably right.
I know.
Here's the thing. I would not, I don't think, bring someone to your wedding, to your funeral, but I think like 2 weeks is a fair.
Gary thinks I will date within hours. I don't know who he thinks I'm going to date.
I mean, you're a hot number. You could pick up some people.
So when my grandparents died, it was like really kind of like a romantic thing, right? My all-time favorite song has always been Love Me by Colin Ray, where he like makes sure that everything is taken care of and then he dies. So the night that we told my grandpa that my grandma's headstone was in, he passed away, 35 days apart. It was like this really sweet thing. Like he literally made sure to make that everything was taken care of. It was super adorable, right?
Yep.
I totally just lost where I was going with that.
You're gonna see, I can hear your voice.
No, I'm not actually. So I remember Sorry. So because we had just had a funeral for my grandma, and the boys were the pallbearers, my aunt, who's a little kooky, got the idea that the girls should be pallbearers. Well, my sister got hit on by one of the funeral directors. This young guy walks up and he's like, "You're the hottest pallbearer I've ever seen."
Which sister?
Callie. She was super skinny.
Did she go on a date with him?
No, she was creeped out.
Is that creepy? Like
who uses that as a pickup line? Like, "Hey, you look good carrying your dead grandpa."
I mean, it's situational. Like, I feel like it would be creepy if he was like at a grocery store and said it. But I mean, you're at a funeral. You are a pallbearer. Like, you got to use. I feel like funerals are like the place you just kind of got to use what you got at your disposal.
It's terrible.
Like, man, you're so hot. You could lift an urn anytime.
Yeah, so that was interesting. My sister got told she was the hottest pallbearer.
I feel like it'd be. Here's the thing. I know that I'll never get married again because this shit's work.
It is.
And I like.
Why did we get married?
Tax breaks? I don't know.
Well, that fucked us over. We paid like $3,000 just the first year. Fair. We were only married for a month and a half of 2016.
It's because I love your stupid face.
I see.
But I'm never getting married, ever. I will date. I will maybe even live with somebody, even that's sketchy at this point.
Ouch.
No, it's just...
You two better by yourself. You're kind of the eternal bachelor.
Yeah, and I hate that, though, because I like everything I have. But yeah, I do handle things way better by myself.
Yeah.
So.
Wait. Handle what?
I'm pretty good at that, too. You don't even want to get into that right now. Oh, man. I could go for days.
Yeah, I could see you dating, but I don't think I don't know. You said you would never get married after Deb. And now you're my husband, so.
But even that took
6 years?
16 years.
Oh, 16. I thought, it was like 6 just that you knew me.
No, 16.
Yeah.
And so I was on the never getting, I was all about it. And you fucked it all up.
My bad.
You and your soul.
Sorry.
Like, that's the problem I think that's why I cry at movies now. Because you unfroze my heart, I think. Like, I had all these great walls built up.
That sounds like very Disney corny.
Well, it is Disney
Bye,
corny.
Gary. Miss your face.
Bye, Gary. Have a great day, buddy. It is Disney corny because I've tried so hard. I built up all these walls, and then you just go through and fucking knock them down. Like,
my bad.
Now I'm like, oh, here's an emotional thing. Let me bawl like a little girl for an
Lately,
hour.
you've been crying at movies more than I have.
I know.
We should watch Max or...
Oh, God, no.
Or what was the other one? Oh, Dog's Purpose. Oh, my gosh.
Here's the thing. A Dog's Purpose is better because I have... at least on A Dog's Purpose... What am I doing here?
We're boring everybody. Everybody's leaving us.
That's okay.
That's right. We're done anyway.
Yeah, we're going to close it up here in a second anyhow. No, but A Dog's Purpose, you cry, but not as bad. Max, like, you were, like...
I was hysterical. I couldn't breathe.
Hysterically bawling for a solid however long that movie is.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I don't know where this show happened or how we got to half the things we got to today in a very random situation. But we'll be back next week, and me...
If Matt can stay out of trouble.
If I can stay out of trouble. So here's the deal. You know, if there's not a podcast Sunday, I fucked up. That just needs to be how it goes.
I have a real issue with fake people, so when Matt is a dick, and then he's like, you want a podcast? I'm like, no.
It might be good therapy to get to people's opinion if I'm really being a dick.
I think even more people would hate me if I got on here and told you what I'm really thinking when we're in a fight.
I think it'd be awesome, though.
It would be so bad.
It'd be fun. We should do it one time.
It'd be like a divorce podcast.
Here's the thing. I'm going to go out of my way not to upset you. But at some point, if I do, we should just try it.
We'll see.
Just go, oh, we're arguing about XYZ. Who's right?
Okay, we'll see.
Of course, then if they say I'm right, you're going to be even more mad.
That's true.
All right. Anyhow, you guys have a great week.
Thanks for tuning in.
Tune in Friday with me, Gary, and Kevin, and probably Eric's going to call in just because that's what Eric does.
We should try to find Eric a date for during your podcast so he can't call in.
That was somewhat mean.
Sorry.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, honey.